Hello everyone, my name is Kayelin Rutledge. I'm currently enrolled as a student here at the Community College of Baltimore County, Essex campus. I'm in Child Growth and Development. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Lev Vygotsky and how his theories and books published over 80 years ago apply to a modern-day child named Clara. How Lev Vygotsky got his start. Lev Vygotsky was born in Orsha, Russia on November 17, 1896. His family always had a love for literature and knowledge, and that love of knowledge was instilled upon him. He attended the University of Moscow in 1913, where he studied some psychology, but majored in law. He graduated in 1917. He then went on to study at the Moscow Institute of Psychology. In 1924, he attended an all-Russian Congress on neuropsychology, where he was invited to speak. His speech was so impressive and successful that he was then invited to become a research fellow at the Moscow Institute for Experimental Psychology. In 1925, he traveled to a conference abroad and contracted tuberculosis. While out of work for a year due to illness, Vygotsky began writing books about his ideas. He wrote multiple books on child psychology specifically, before 1934 when he died after another brush with tuberculosis. The basics of Vygotsky's theory. The zone of proximal development. The zone of proximal development is the area between what an individual can do with and without assistance from others. Lev Vygotsky believed that culture and social interaction had a great deal to do with a child's cognitive development, and that it had a lot to do with helping children through this zone. He believed that children learn through observing and talking to a more knowledgeable other. This individual can be a parent, teacher, or even the child's peers. The child takes what they learn from these people and uses it to solve problems and process their own thoughts. Through observing, the child takes their basic skills, or elementary motor functions, as Vygotsky liked to call it, and turns them into higher-level problem-solving skills. Introducing the child. This is Clara. She is currently 4 years old. She loves playing dress-up, climbing, playing cars, and being goofy with her friends. Our first milestone we'll be discussing is a language milestone. Understandable speech. When Clara speaks, she is pronouncing her words very clearly. Someone who doesn't know Clara has almost no trouble understanding what she's saying. As a result of this, Clara is beginning to get her points across very well using speech. She has gone from, "The cow say moo, dem cows have black spot on it," to, "The cow says moo, those cows have black spots on them." What Vygotsky has to say about it. Clara has clearly observed adults and peers while they were speaking. She has internalized the way they use diction and tone and practiced these skills with others through basic, everyday speech. She has observed these skills and will now begin to use her speech to be successful at trying to pronounce words she may never have heard before with less difficulty than she would have without her more knowledgeable friends and teachers, and, of course, her own practice of speech. Another milestone we'll be discussing is a physical milestone, exploring environment. Clara is very curious and loves to explore the world around her. She likes to bend down to climb under and through her surroundings. She likes to run around and look at the environment around her. I wonder what's under this tree, Clara thinks. What Vygotsky has to say about it. The child, Clara, is using her physical attributes to explore the culture around her. By physically exploring the world around her, Clara will be able to better understand her culture and social circle. Her understanding of this culture will allow her to figure out the best way to use this culture to support herself cognitively. And now for the cognitive milestone, sorting objects. Clara is able to differentiate between objects of different sizes or colors. If I give Clara a group of 10 toy elephants, where some are large and some are smaller, she would be able to sort them into 2 different piles for me. She is also able to do this if, for instance, the elephants were different colors. Clara is able to sort these toys into different color groups. These elephants are big and red. These elephants are small and blue, says Clara. What Vygotsky has to say about it. Clara has observed the world around her, that not every object or thing is the same. Through her observation of the world, she is able to build upon that scaffolding and sort objects based on their differences. She should even be able to do this with objects she has not encountered before. This is to do with the fact that she has internalized these differences in shape and color, and could apply them regardless of whether or not the object is familiar to her. Social milestone. Sharing. Concept of things belonging to others. Clara understands the idea that not all toys are hers. She understands that some toys belong to her friends, and that only her toys belong to her. She understands that there is a boundary, and knows that she must be patient and ask to share as opposed to taking toys from a friend. She uses kind language and asks to share toys with her friends. Zane, says Clara, can I please play with your car while you play trains? What Vygotsky has to say about it. Through her exploration and observation of social cues, Clara has learned that some things are off limits, and she does not have immediate access to them. It is obvious that she is growing up in a culture where these values are being taught, as she would not be gaining this insight if her environment did not teach her such. Emotional milestone. Care for others. Clara shows emotional concern for her friends who seem unhappy. She gives them a hug and asks what is wrong. Clara is a very caring friend. She asks why her friends are sad as a way of showing her concern for their feelings. Why are you sad, Zane? Do you want a hug? Asks Clara. What Vygotsky emotional understanding and grown it into an understanding of other people's emotions. Clara has observed that other people get sad just like she does, and sometimes she does sometimes, and she knows through observing her culture and personal experience that a hug and some kind words can help someone who is feeling down. Final thoughts. In conclusion, I believe Clara has done a wonderful job of taking what her society gives her and making it into learning experiences. She is able to effectively utilize the world around her when needed in order to advance herself. She uses both influence from others and her own processing of these influences in order to develop higher thought processing skills.